you know.
Absolutely. I know my grandfather was steering us away from, man. And listen, we was out there with AB and then when they was little kids, man. We was all little, we young. I saw AB walk out 8 years old in the fight in Cincinnati, and I mean, from it was at that moment I knew he was a showman. So when he showed up on the scene in the professionals, I already knew we was in for a whirlwind of entertainment, man. Because this is who he is. He's not playing a role. This is who AB is, right? And then when you talk about Tank, man, yeah, he is that. It was like boxing or the streets. He got that mentality, got that dog in him, the whole nine, man. So toting the line is a good way to express that. Um, um, and thank God boxing, found its way. But even for someone like me who steered clear, I could have easily fell into that trap because I was easily influenced by the streets, but I just didn't have that mentality. If I wouldn't have found boxing, who knows what would have been doing.
Yeah, because I think that, and that's huge. I think for especially an aggressive sport, but as we also know, it's the sweet science,
Yep.
and not being a poised person, not being a person who can keep yourself under control can definitely be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So as we zoom on, so I'd imagine at the young age you did the silver mittens or the silver gloves and the
Yep.
golden
Yep.
gloves and
Yep. I didn't
all of those.
win. I didn't win many juniors, man. I won the junior golden gloves twice. I won a national pal as well. But tournaments I wanted to win, the silver gloves, it was taken from me. Um, the JO's most important tournament. I only made it to the nationals once, man. I know it's only a 2-trip tournament, but I mean, I was non-existent. You know what I'm saying? Because they robbed me. I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was really discouraged early in my career, man. But I just kept going.
So, besides those family members, who was the first person that you met that really gave you that push when you were going through those things? You said, man,
Right.
I'm not having the career that I want to have so
Yeah.
far as a junior or getting to those points. Who was
Yeah.
that person that you met that said, man, this is
I've
changing?
seen them all, bro. The Midwest had them all, man. Rock and Tiger Allen. I'm not sure you know who they are. Um, the whole concrete junkie, the Philly boys, they was out there. Ohio had some big names, Ricardo Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Bird. That was a guy right from Flint. We stayed in his gym a lot. The Birds. And then people I just came up with watching, man, like the same people you see or you seen in my era, man. I got a chance to see them also as I continue to grow. But how I decided to build my style was take a little bit off the fighters that I like. I watched Ali throughout my whole entire career, but outside of Ali, Ricardo Williams was the biggest influence for us. The Cincinnati boy, man. We had all of his tapes, and I literally watched so many of them, man. Like he was mesmerizing to me as an amateur being a young kid. And we got a chance to travel to Cincinnati often, man. That was like our second home, man. Seeing them, being around them was surreal. Watching them fighting tournaments was surreal. He would wear a silver outfit, man. It was one of those shiny silver outfits. Like, cats would have them on today, but it wouldn't seem like they would have them on at the time that he fought, man. Um, he was that guy, and then went on to get a silver medal. Didn't do as good as he wanted to in the pros, but he made an impact enough for me to get to where I am today, along with others.
I noticed that the more I get into the culture and I talk to people who are actually successful boxers, it's never the boxers that you think motivated them, right? You always get the Alis and you get the Durans
Yeah,
and the Roy Joneses and these people, but there's
yeah,
always some of those obscure names
yeah,
that you always hear.
yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned, and I'm gonna have to look him up because you mentioned that he was big in the fashion of boxing
Mm.
and people changing the way they look, especially with all the young guys. I don't know if you saw Gervonta Tank Davis recently
Mm.
in his fight against Frank Martin with the custom chrome heart outfit.
Yeah, I saw that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I already paid a grip for it too, man. Crazy.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I heard he said he paid like 100 some thousand. I'm like, man, they do that? Like they don't charge that much. I think I paid like 2,500, 3,000 tops for one of my most expensive outfits. Man, he went. far and beyond, man. That's crazy.
or beyond, man. I'm not really a fashionable guy like that,
Yeah, me
so
neither.
I'm not really, I don't think I even have an event to wear a
Yeah.
$2,500 pair of pants or jacket to go to. Hopefully,
Right.
hopefully I'll make it to the SQ
Yeah.
next year, and I'll be
You
looking like
did.
something. But I seen that with Gervonta, because I think we both can agree he's the face of boxing now for
No.
for this age,
Yeah, one
and
of for sure.
for sure, it's really huge. So, and not to get off of that, but I also want to talk about, like, even with Tank.
Mm,
So, are you one of these people who think, or not think, but feel that Tank hasn't fought the type of opposition that would make him be the top dog? Have we not seen him fight the type of people, in your
mm,
opinion, that would make him be the face of boxing
mm.
from a competition standpoint?
I gotta see the skill first, right? And he's been there with enough opposition for me to know that he can get the job done with, you know, guys of his caliber. I'm not gonna say someone who's better than him because, in his weight class, I don't believe anyone is, right? And styles do make fights in a way. And I think the only thing that holds Tank back, or the only downfall that could possibly hit Tank, is his height, right? You fight somebody with enough height in order to stay away, then it's going to be a problem. There's a lot of fights where he knocked guys out where he had to knock them out, otherwise he was losing the fight, right? But I think Tank is special. You know what I'm saying? Watching that last fight with him and Frank Martin. Now, Frank Martin wasn't a big name, and that was just like come out fight right there, really gonna put him on. He did a great job leading up to getting stopped. But what Tank showed me was his patience and perseverance, right? He kept getting kept caught with left hands, and he had the cheek to prove it. He had the red mark on his cheek to prove it, but he never changed his posture. He kept that same facial expression. He showed patience. He showed he showed patience, persistence, and he continued to execute until he found his shot. He was never over antsy. Um, he took his time, man, and that's what makes him so dangerous. I think he has that ebbing pressure to where he'll break you down nervously because he's not going to show you weakness. He's going to always keep that game face on, and he's going to be patient enough to wait and land that shot if he sees it, man. So I think Tank already proved himself. Just like Terrence Crawford didn't have to prove himself before he fought Spence, Tank is one of those guys as well.